From high atop the world headquarters of Southeastern Fly, this is the Southeastern Fly podcast. Thanks for pushing play. Click the like, hit the follow. Here we go. For those of you who are newer to the podcast or have never heard the podcast, I'm David Perry, the owner of Southeastern Fly. We're a guided drift boat company with fishing available on the elk, the caney, the stones. We fish for muskie, trout, smallmouth. You can look us up and book a trip at southeasternfly.com. I'm also the host of this podcast, so welcome aboard. We've got about 100 episodes, and we work hard to help you improve your angling skills and basically give you something to listen to on the way to the river or during the week whenever you can't get away. So we have a newsletter, and you can sign up for that wherever you're listening to this podcast. Just look back into the show notes after this episode is over, and you can find that there. So also, we hope those episodes are somewhat enjoyable. And this one, I think, is hopefully going to be the same way. So this topic can be, I told somebody the other day, I said, think I'm just going to do a podcast episode on holding a fish. And they just went, that's a controversial topic. And I said, yeah, there's really a bunch of crap out there and a bunch of nonsense about holding fish. Hold them, don't hold them. Arms stretched out, arms tight to the body. Shotgun, hero shots, hot spotting in pictures, not hot spotting. Blur the background. I know what leaf on that tree looks like, and I've been there, and I don't want you giving away my spot. Laying fish on the bank, not laying them on the bank. With the rod, without the rod, in the parking lot, too close, too far, blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot of stuff that just goes on and on and on. I think there are about as many opinions as there are poses, and there are about as many opinions as there are posers. So post them on the gram, don't post them on Facebook. You really, folks want to have them available to whip out at a moment's notice. Maybe, only show the biggest ones and not the hundreds of little ones that you caught until you finally caught that biggest one. Yes, we all know that you caught 100 fish that were way smaller than the one you're showing me right now. And this is the pot calling the kettle black, because I do the same thing. Folks want to show them off at the fly show, at the film tour, or film tours, depending on how many they go to, at the grocery, at the shoe store, in the fly shop, at church. You just want to have them on your phone and ready. Let's face it, everybody can't be David Cannon with a camera. He's a fantastic photographer, and most of us are not, or most of us are just using cell phones. But we get to delete the bad ones. We delete those fish flops and the one that you thought was big, only to find out that it wasn't big because you caught one bigger. If they're all big, it's easy. There's no comment required. You just stick it out there and people go, yay. Your folks that don't really like you, they're like, yeah, that must be photoshopped, or he got or she got lucky. If they're small, we get those comments on the colors of, oh man, look, or the stripes, or oh, that's great, or their pupils. Wait a minute. Their pupils? Yep, they're pupils. So me and Josh and Brent went fishing a few years back, and one of us, I can't remember who it was that landed a small fish. It was one of us three anyway. We landed this small fish. We said all the things that you're supposed to say. Oh, good presentation, man. Good cast. Oh, that went right where it was supposed to be. Nice hook set. Good fight for the size, and the fish got to the net, and it was small, and the colors were dull. It had a rough heck fin. So we didn't have all the usual things to comment about. We just all kind of sat there and looked at it like, okay. After we said all those nice things up front about the presentation and the hook set and all that, when the rubber met the road, it wasn't that great looking of a fish. It did count as one. For those of you counting out there, we've got some counters, and that's okay too. But so we were just kind of sitting there looking at it, and Josh all of a sudden goes, wow, nice pupils. Those are deep, dark black. Ooh, blacker than all the other colors in the wheel added together. That's how they make black, by the way, is they just add all the colors in. That's what it is anyway. I mean, for such a little guy, it really did have nice pupils. So when you catch a small fish without color, that's really all that great. The stripes aren't all that good. Maybe it's got busted fins, maybe that sort of thing. Nondescript, and it shows off, well, nothing really. You could always look back and go, hey, nice pupils, dude. Those are some black, deep, dark pupils. So always keep that in mind. Again, here we are, we're dissecting fish and how we're holding them and all that. And I went through this time where I wanted to balance fish on one hand. That was kind of just, don't ask me why. I don't know why I did that. I went through it, I did it. And anyway, I balanced fish on one hand. I balanced brown trout, rainbows, smallies, steelhead, a shark, some carp, buffalo, all that on one hand. I thought it was cool at the time. Looking back, it's like, yeah, okay, I've been there, done that. I don't suggest everybody run out and do it, but I learned some stuff too while I was doing that. And it goes right along with the trip I did the other day. And Ron, one of the folks that fishes with me, he sets up this trip and he sets it up for his grandson, him and his grandson. Grandson's name is Wyatt. And this is her second time fishing with me, and both are a lot of fun to fish with. They're enjoyable. Wyatt is a good kid, and there's hope for the world. I'll go ahead and say that because there are some good kids out there. And Ron's on the water a lot, a whole lot. He's a lucky retired, not lucky, but has positioned himself to be a good retired person that can get out whenever he really wants to. Wyatt's a strapping young man. He's a football player. He's a lacrosse player. He's got good hand-eye coordination, and that's important whenever you're holding fish and catching fish and presenting to fish. But the one thing that Wyatt does really well is he listens too, and that's a big thing. Anyway, we started fishing, and Ron immediately starts catching. And Wyatt hadn't fished since the last time we fished, which I think was a year or so ago. But after he got tuned back up and everything, he started catching fish. So they're catching. This was a day of catching fish. It wasn't a day of fishing. It was a good day. And Wyatt had a couple of fish that were worth taking a pick for the family to see. And the one thing I learned from those one-handed fish picks was be calm. Be very calm. You be calm, the fish will be calm. Less flipping, less flopping. All that adds up to a good fish pick. That way you don't look so stressed. The fish is not so stressed. If you're calm, they smile more. Okay, really, they probably don't smile at all, but they are honestly, they're calmer. They're not jumping and flopping around near as much as they are whenever you're excited. But anyway, not only is Wyatt an athlete, but he's also very calm, very laid back. He's got a calm spirit about him, which I really like. But anyway, the fish, since Wyatt was calm, the fish were calm. There was less flopping, there was less flipping around, a whole lot less time out of the water. So this calmness that Wyatt has about him really paid off. We got some good picks. The fish weren't exceedingly large, but they were good picks to send back to the family and good picks for him to hold on to and see about, how do we do this year compared to next year. It was a really nice day on the water, and those two are a lot of fun to fish with. But the last thing that most of us are, whenever we catch a fish, and particularly a big fish, is calm. We're excited. We're in a hurry. We're bouncing around like a Teletubby. Instead of being all worked up, be like Wyatt when you take a pic. Just try to be calm. That's what I've been trying to do more of, is remembering that, oh yeah, if I'm not bouncing around everywhere, be more like Wyatt, I can be more calm. What about the other things? Now we're going to get into this technical thing where people can start arguing. And hang on, we're almost done. This is going to be a short one. It'll probably be 15 minutes or so. But so what about all those other things? Like wet your hands. Did you wet them enough? Do it quick. Keep them wet. Don't lay around. Don't lay it on the bank. Don't lay it on the bank for too long. Don't lay it on rocks. Lay it on moss. Don't lay it in the mud. Be gentle. Don't argue on the internet because nobody really cares what you say about it anyway. And this is something that's so stupid that it's incredible how dumb people get over this. But anyway, take some different shots of it. Admire them. So somebody told me I'm gonna take some different shots of this. They said, yeah, just spray it down, David. I was like, oh, good idea. So I just click, 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 click. You know, take those different shots, get those different angles, get it back in the water, just like we all want. We all want the opportunity to come and catch that fish again. That's really what we want, and some we can, and I have taken pics and put them up against pics from over a year and determined that it was the same fish from a year after we caught it a year ago. And I've done it within about a 2 week span too. So catch and release is a great thing. You can still take a pick and not harm them too much as long as you're careful. But, admire them, even those little ones. Always remember that pupils are king. If you can't say anything else about a fish, remember, you can look at their pupils and say, boy, those are some deep, dark pupils. Fishing is enjoyment for the enjoyment that it brings. It's not necessarily for arguing about how you should or shouldn't take a picture of a fish. Only you understand all the work that you've gone through to get consistently good at catching fish. And if you haven't got consistently good at catching fish, welcome to the club, because every day is not a gimme. Every day is not a catching day. But you know how much work you've put in. You know how much time you've put in. You know how many of these podcasts you've listened to. You've tied flies. You've done all those things that you do to prepare yourself to get to go to the river, and then you fish and you get your enjoyment out of that particular piece of it. And those pictures just remind you of, oh yeah, this is really part of the reason, the main part of the reason that we go out there is to catch a fish. And we enjoy those nice sunny days. Yesterday on the river was just such a nice day. It started out about 55 and got up to about 73 or 74, I think is what we determined. Just very pleasant. In the shade, it was cool. In the sun, it was warm. Those days, that's what we go for. That's part of what we go for. In the camaraderie of the drive to or from the river, or the alone time. I talked to a friend of mine the other day that just likes to fish by himself, doesn't mind fishing with people, but just really enjoys fishing by himself. And I was like, yep, I enjoy that too sometimes. So totally get that. But anyway, that's my spill on taking fish pictures. Thanks for pushing play. Hit the like, click the follow. You can sign up for the newsletter right there in the show notes, wherever you're listening to this. Look us up at southeasternfly.com to book a trip. We hope these episodes are somewhat enjoyable, and you just listen to Holding a Fish on Southeastern Fly. See you next time.